When I met Jordan, I honestly thought I hit the jackpot. We met in the parking lot of a Target on a rainy Wednesday, of all places. I had just dropped my purse, and as I scrambled to pick up the chaos, he appeared out of nowhere with a soft smile and an umbrella. He wasn't flashy, just warm and grounded. It started with coffee the next day, then long walks, inside jokes, late-night texts that turned into early morning calls. It felt like we were building something steady. A year later, we moved in together. 2 more years, and we tied the knot in a small backyard wedding with friends and a food truck. Life was simple, love was easy. Welcome to Reddit Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch Reddit drama. We weren't rich, but Jordan had a decent IT job and I worked in HR. We pooled our resources, paid our bills on time, saved up for vacations. He always said he was good with numbers and money, and for a while, it showed. He tracked our spending, budgeted down to the cent, even taught me a few tricks about credit and rewards points. I never questioned him. Why would I? Every month, he showed me spreadsheets and graphs, our savings climbing little by little. He'd randomly bring me flowers or a little gift from a store I liked. It wasn't excessive, just thoughtful. Jordan always seemed to have just enough. When we bought our first car together, he handled everything. Registration, insurance, maintenance, done. He made me feel like I could relax. I didn't realize how much I leaned on him until I started seeing cracks. At first, I chalked it up to stress. Work hours increased. He came home later than usual, but brushed it off. Just deadlines, babe. I believed him. He didn't give me a reason not to. He was still loving, still remembered to kiss me on the forehead every morning before work. But sometimes I'd see him staring at his phone like he was waiting for something. Then he'd shake it off and smile. Looking back now, I should have asked more questions. But when you're in love, truly in love, you think you've found safety. You don't expect the person holding your hand to be hiding a ticking time bomb behind their back. About a year into our marriage, things started shifting, subtly at first. Jordan said he was thinking of picking up a second job, just to stay ahead, he claimed. With inflation and everything, it wouldn't hurt to have extra income. I nodded. We were planning to start a family soon, and extra money sounded smart. He found something part-time at a logistics company, night shifts twice a week. I barely saw him on those days, but he always came home exhausted, smelling like engine grease and coffee. He'd collapse on the couch, barely eat, and fall asleep before I could ask much. At first, I felt proud of him. It takes commitment to work 2 jobs. But weeks passed, and our finances weren't reflecting the effort. I checked our joint account regularly, and although his paycheck still came in, the balance barely changed. Our savings, which used to grow steadily, now fluctuated oddly. I approached him casually. "Hey, babe, are we moving money somewhere else?" He smiled, kissed my forehead, and said, "Just taking care of some credit stuff, nothing serious." That was all. But the credit card bills didn't make sense either. I saw recurring charges from obscure online platforms, some casino-like names I didn't recognize. When I brought it up, he laughed it off. "Oh, those? Just testing out some apps. You know me and tech." His tone was light, but his eyes flickered, just for a second. That flicker was enough. I started noticing more. Some nights he wasn't just tired. He was moody, irritable. He snapped at little things, zoned out in the middle of conversations, stared at his phone with this intense, almost hungry look. One night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to find him in the living room, glued to the TV, muttering under his breath while tapping on his phone like a madman. When I asked what he was doing, he jolted and lied. Just watching highlights. Couldn't sleep. A dark thought crept into my mind. What if he was seeing someone else? It made sense. The disappearing money, the late hours, the mood swings. Maybe there was another woman, someone he was spending on. I even searched his clothes for signs, his car for receipts. I felt like a fool. Was I being paranoid, or was there a stranger wearing my husband's smile? By the time our 3rd anniversary came around, things were practically crumbling under my feet. The tension in our home had reached a boiling point. Jordan barely spoke unless I spoke first, and even then, his responses were half-hearted. Our once loving conversations turned into cold exchanges about groceries, bills, or his unexplained expenses. I was working overtime emotionally, just trying to hold our marriage together. Then one evening, out of the blue, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You need to get a job, Kayla. We're drowning." That hit me hard. I'd left HR to pursue freelance writing from home, something we'd both agreed on. But I swallowed my pride, dusted off my resume, and within weeks, I landed a receptionist gig at a dental clinic. That was when things spiraled harder. Now, we were both working, barely seeing each other. The house became a ghost town. Bills were paid, but always at the last minute. Groceries were minimal. The surprise flowers stopped. I missed my husband, whoever he used to be. Then the collection calls began. First one, then another, then daily. They asked for Jordan by name. One woman even said, "He knows what this is about." When I asked him, he brushed it off as identity mix-ups. But the fear in his eyes was unmistakable. After a long week where I was managing patients, paperwork, and a home falling apart, I exploded. "Jordan, I'm not stupid. Where is the money going? Are you seeing someone? Are you on drugs?" He froze, then sat down on the edge of the bed and buried his face in his hands. He was trembling. "It's not another woman," he whispered, voice cracking. "It's not drugs. It's worse." I blinked, heart pounding. "Then what the hell is it?" "I've been gambling for almost 2 years now. It started small, just sports bets. Then poker apps. Then bigger platforms. I thought I could win us more money, get ahead, be the man you deserved. But I lost. Again and again. I thought I could fix it before you noticed." I couldn't breathe. My legs went numb. He looked up at me with bloodshot eyes and whispered, "I'm sorry, Kayla. I think I need help." For a moment, I just stared at him, my husband, the man I trusted with everything, sitting there like a child caught in a lie that had grown into a monster. I sat on the edge of the bed that night, barely able to process what I'd just heard. Gambling? 2 years? It all made sense now. The hidden charges, the mood swings, the lies. I wanted to scream, cry, maybe even leave. But something held me in place. Maybe it was the way Jordan looked at me, like a man who had finally stopped running from a storm he created. He wasn't defensive anymore. He was broken, and for some twisted reason, I still loved him. "I should have told you sooner," he said. "I was ashamed. I didn't want you to think less of me." I looked at him for a long time. It's not about thinking less of you. It's about being blindsided by someone I trusted with everything. Over the next few days, I stayed with my sister just to breathe. Jordan didn't fight me on it. He gave me space. During that time, I replayed every moment in my mind. I consulted a therapist, even spoke to a counselor about financial recovery. Then, out of nowhere, Jordan sent me a photo. It was of him at a local Gamblers Anonymous meeting. I didn't even respond. But the next day, he sent another, then another. 3 meetings in, I finally called him. "Why now?" I asked. "Because if I don't fix this, I'll lose the only thing worth fighting for." I returned home a week later. He had printed out our full financial history, put everything on the table, literally. Every debt, every loan, every online transaction. I'm ready to dig us out, but I can't do it alone. We came up with a repayment plan, met with a financial advisor, and set ground rules. He handed over all financial control to me. Bank accounts, cards, everything. I got him into therapy, and I started attending spouses support groups. It wasn't easy. There were nights he'd shake, nights he'd cry, nights I questioned whether staying was the right move. But over time, he changed. Not overnight, was not miraculously, but truly. He found a steady job with structure and accountability. We sold some stuff, downsized, and started from scratch. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real. Slowly, we climbed out of the hole. Trust, the hardest currency, began to return, bit by bit. Our marriage, once cracked and bleeding, started to heal. The end. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. What do you think of this story? Please comment below.